Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. Another edition of the Rangers Roundup. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Michael Flecha alongside my partner in crime, Anthony Florio, as we are recapping Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Quarterfinal matchup between your New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it is celebration time for the Broadway Blue Shirts. We are one win away, or in the immortal words of Anthony Florio, go ahead, kid, do it.
Oh, okay, put me on the spot. Put me on the spot there. Okay. One more
from moving on to the next round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. So let's get right into it, guys. We got a lot to talk about. Well, here's how it comes out. And basically, well, the bearer of the bad news was the New York Rangers were trailing after one period. No! Apparently, it is true. The Rangers gave up an early goal 2 minutes, 22 seconds in. It was actually Patrick Hornquist. At first, they said that it was Ben Lovejoy, but they did amend it. They gave it to Patrick Hornquist on a tip-in. Ben Lovejoy gets the assist. So did Paul Martin as well. They started out the game with the lead 1-0. And let's be realistic, they dominated the first period alone, out shooting the Rangers 8-2 in the first period. I think the Rangers got a little flat-footed. You know, they knew the Penguins were going to come out a little jacked up, a little motivated. And unfortunately for the Rangers, they kind of came out flat in the first period. But just like any great team knows, it's a 60-minute game. It's 3 full periods, not 1 period. So New York just had to try to get that back. Well, they got it back late in the second period. Derek Brassard gets the goal. Ricky Nash and Ryan McDonough credit them with the assist at 17:15 of the second period, and it brought the game to a 1-1 standstill. In the second period, the Rangers was 13-8 on the shots. Going into the third, well, no score on the third, which means, you know what that means, guys, overtime. And if you're playing the Fox Sports 1, their daily wrap-up, this means you take a drink right now of an alcoholic beverage. But for me and for Anthony Florio and for myself, I got my Coca-Cola. I know he's probably got an orange soda somewhere around. We were taking a drink. Going into the third period, going into overtime, we're hoping, praying, maybe something might happen. Then Marty St. Louis to Carl Hagelin. Derek Hayes with a wrister at 3:14 in overtime. Game over. Good night. Game over. Drive home safely. Rangers win 2-1. They now have a commanding 3-1 lead going back to Madison Square Garden, and they can wrap it all up 2 nights from now in the world's most famous arena, back in Madison Square Garden on Friday night. They outshot the Penguins 3-0 in the overtime period. Let's give you some quick stats before I give it to Anthony Florio. The Rangers won the battle on the shots 24-23. Your 3 stars of the game. Patrick Hornquist was the number 3 star. The number 2 star was Henrik Lundqvist, 23 saves in the game. And the number 1 star and the winner of the Broadway hat, Kevin Hayes. He got the game winner. 1 goal, a plus-minus of 1, 3 shots, 3 hits. My goodness. Wow. What a game 4 this was. Wow. So, Anthony Florio, it's all yours, my friend. Let's dive in.
All right. Hello, friends. It is Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here with the Cerebral Viper, Michael Flecha, for this all-new edition of the Rangers Roundup. And needless to say, I am more than delighted to be here. it's always. I mean, of course, we do the Ranger roundups no matter what. But Fletch, is it just me, or are these Ranger roundups even more sweeter after wins? Isn't it great that it's
I
always
think
fun
this
to
is
do
the
it
best
after a
one
win?
yet. I think this is the best one yet because it was an overtime winner.
Shakespearean drama, baby. That's what it was all about. It was all about the Shakespearean drama at the Energy Console Center in Pittsburgh tonight, as the New York Rangers defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1 in overtime. And yeah, so without question, as I break it down, I want to tell you folks, that first period, I mean, boy, New York Rangers could not have played a more piss poor first period. And Mike Milbury, yes, love him or hate him, you got to admit, he hit the nail on the head. He said that you had a chance to, get a commanding lead and everything, put a stranglehold, send it back home and whatnot. But you lay an egg like that. Yeah, they laid an egg. I mean, they give up the fast goal. Hornqvist has been absolutely killing us this series. I mean, he has just been, ugh. Oh, yeah. I mean, needless to say, Hornqvist right now is, I think he's the guy that we need to worry about, even more so than Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. But nonetheless, shots were 8-2 in favor of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Pittsburgh definitely came out the aggressors in the first period. There's no question about that. Especially, Hornqvist, from Lovejoy and Martin. And second period, of course, the Rangers tie it up. The Penguin killer, like he was a year ago, a killer again this year. Derek Brassard, third of the series. Ricky Nash with the assist, along with the captain Ryan McDonough at 17:15 of the second, tying the game at 1. Rangers definitely came out the aggressors in the second period, out shooting Pittsburgh 13-8 on that count. No scoring in the third. Shots were almost even, but it was Pittsburgh with a little advantage, 7-6, as far as the shots on goal went there. And then quick goal in overtime, 3:14 into the first overtime. Kevin Hayes, not Derek Hayes, Fletch. Kevin Hayes. I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta love this. I mean, we don't just see stuff like this in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We also see this, in the NFL. We also see it in the NBA. And also even in, the Major League Baseball playoffs. But and that is unsung heroes. I mean, when we think who could have scored the winner, we could have thought maybe Ricky Nash, maybe Brassard again, maybe Stepan or San Luis. Never in a million years would I have thought Kevin Hayes was gonna be the hero of the day, quoting the great Metallica song from '96. But he was the hero of the day. Well, in this case, hero of the night. And yeah, great win, and the shots on goal in overtime, 3-0 in favor of the New York Rangers. So, a couple observations here. One observation, the utmost observation. Pittsburgh actually didn't get into as much penalty trouble as they've been getting into in this game tonight. They only got caught 3 times tonight. They had been averaging about 6, 7 a game. They only got caught 3 times. But then again, the New York Rangers also got caught 3 times. Both teams were 0 for 3 on the power play, 6 penalty minutes aside. Of course, the faceoffs, of course, went to Pittsburgh. That's not a surprise because, they're a much better faceoff team than the New York Rangers are. 36-27, the faceoffs in favor of the Penguins. Hits, that favored the New York Rangers, 42-28. And the block shots, 19-17 in favor of the New York Rangers. And Henrik Lundqvist, 22 saves on 23 shots. Second star of the game. I can see why. Hornqvist was the third star with his goal tonight. I mean, he played another great game tonight, no doubt about that. As I look at the stat sheet here, Danny Girardi, he had that great game in Game 3 on Monday night. Not as good as he was. He took a step back tonight, even though, especially after that great game he had the other night. Brassard, I thought he played a great game tonight, no doubt about that. Hags, Carl Hagelin had a nice game tonight. The captain McDonough, I thought he had some good moments tonight. Ricky Nash, nice to see him get on the stat sheet, even though I'd like to see one in the G column instead of the A column. But as long as we can get him on the stat sheet, that's good enough for me. And Marty St. Louis, nice to see him on the stat sheet as well. The only thing that I still want to see Zuccarello. I want to see Zuccarello get more involved. I want to see him get on that score sheet. You know, he's one of our Mr. Reliables, if you will. Same can be said for Marty St. Louis. And the usual suspects stepped up. Brassard, I mean, Brassard's a Penguin killer. Let me tell you that right now. I mean, he was the Penguin killer a year ago. Killing them again this time around. 3 goals in this series already. I mean, and what did I say the other night? The Rangers have made themselves at home at Energy Console Center. I mean, we've won, what, five straight now? I mean, well, not 5 straight, but you know, we've won 5 times there in the last 2 postseasons. I mean, we won games 1, 5, and 7 in that building last year, and then getting 3 and 4 here. We get that 3-1 series lead. If only we didn't let Game 2 get away from us, this thing would have been done and over with, and we could have just, you know, relaxed for a little bit. But nope, there's still some work to be done. There's one more game left, and it's Friday night. This Friday night, the series ships back to Madison Square Garden, where the New York Rangers will have a chance to put away the Pittsburgh Penguins for the 2nd year in a row. I mean, thought of that, you know, brings a smile to my face, no doubt about that. And but looking at the Pittsburgh side of things, best player on the ice for Pittsburgh, far and away, that was Patrick Hornqvist. I mean, I'm not gonna. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. I mean, I think Hornqvist has been the best player in this series, even though Crosby had that 2-goal game in Game 2. Which, if it wasn't for who knows? Maybe we would have been talking sweep. But like I said, you notice something. All 3 games the Rangers have won in this series all came with the final score of 2-1. All 3 games we've won, the final score was 2-1. The one loss was, of course, 4-3. All we have to do is keep it low scoring. We can't let it, you know, get into a higher scoring game. If it gets into a higher scoring game, then Pittsburgh's got the advantage there. There's no doubt about that. But as long as the Rangers can keep, you know, like they've done their 3 wins, all by the score of 2-1, if we can keep it on that low scoring side, like that kind of a score, maybe, or even a 1-0 game, then there's no question about it. The New York Rangers, you know, can definitely put this thing away. I mean, the advantage is totally theirs now, up 3-1. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves right now. Still work to be done. I am hopeful that on Friday night, I mean, Friday night's already a big night anyway, Fletch. I mean, because, you know, we got the big Strictly Sports, of course, you know, the our 4th annual Strictly Sports NFL schedule release show, which I am very much looking forward to, as I know you are too, Fletch. And I know the same can be said for our other colleagues, Derek Ferreira and Michael Bullock. I mean, I've already looked at the schedule, and maybe as soon as we're done here, we can take a behind-the-scenes look at that. But getting back to this, I mean, Hornqvist, like I said, Hornqvist was far and away the best player for Pittsburgh tonight. Lovejoy, I thought Lovejoy had a good game too. He's been doing some things in this series. Martin had a good game as well. Fleury, you know, Fleury had a solid effort, even though he allowed those 2 goals there. 22 saves on 24 shots. So, the goaltending has been even between Lundqvist and Fleury. I can't give one I can't put one over the other, but because, you know, the performances by both men, you know, Henrik Lundqvist and Marc-Andre Fleury have been very much even. But the Rangers, you know what they've been doing. I mean, they've contained Sidney Crosby one more time. They contained Evgeny Malkin one more time, which has been another great sight for sore eyes, no doubt about that. They have to keep it, you know, they have to make sure that they put it in the hands of the unknowns. If we can contain Crosby and Malkin one more time, come Friday night. I mean, you thought Friday was already big enough with that, with our big NFL schedule release special on Friday night. Oh, brother, you ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, I am hopeful that by the time we start that show, Fletch and I will be, you know, hopefully, you know, celebrating or getting happy, you know, getting excited about our New York Rangers possibly moving on. I mean, go figure. Before last year, every time the Rangers and the Penguins met in the playoffs, the Pittsburgh Penguins came out on top each and every time. Last year, the New York Rangers finally got that Penguin monkey off their back. Cannot tell you how happy I was. I mean, Fletch, you were the one. You were the man who convinced me. You were the one who kept the faith, if you will. You know my new saying: "Keep the faith, my friends. If we book them, they will come." Nobody took that saying more to heart last year than Michael Fletcher did, especially against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I mean, I was scared to death going into that series, and when the Rangers, fell behind, I was like, "Yep, I knew this. I knew that was going to happen. Wait till next year, I guess." Nope. Rangers found a way to get it done. They came back. Hearts of champions. That's what they do. Rudy T said it best 20 years ago. Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion. And Rangers have that championship heart right now. I mean, I'm really loving what I'm seeing out of them right now. Even after that piss poor first period. I mean, from the second period on, the Rangers definitely were the aggressors. And now, one more win. One more win. Oh, boy. And the best part is we have a chance to do it on the home ice of Madison Square Garden on Friday night. And, oh, boy, howdy. What a night Friday night could be. Not only our big NFL scheduled release show, but also the possibility of our New York Rangers moving one step forward to hashtag change the ending. I mean, it's not just keep the faith, my friends. If we book them, they will come. That's our big saying here. No. Hashtag change the ending. You already know what the ending was. Last year, we're trying to get that bitter taste out of our mouths, and this team is on a mission, man. And there it is. Michael Fletcher hosting it. There he is. Kevin Hayes, the hero of the day, night, whatever you want to call it, as the great, Metallica once sang back in '96, one of my favorite Metallica songs, hero of the day. And that's exactly what this young man was tonight. That's what you got to love about any sports playoffs. It can be an unsung hero who comes through. And I love it when we get to see an unsung hero, especially one on the younger side of things, like this young man did tonight. So, well done, Kev. Well done, my man. Well done, brother. You got it done. You got the job done. And now, Friday night, man, 48 hours from now, will we be celebrating advancement into the next round of the Stanley Cup playoffs? I mean, Michael Fletcher, you talked about a simulation video that you saw. I saw that simulation video. And, a video game simulation. If you didn't see that simulation video, try to find it if you can. But I finally saw it last night. I found it on my own. Flex didn't send me any links or anything. I found this thing on my own, and and at the end of the simulation, who came out on top of the Stanley Cup? Your New York Hockey Rangers, folks. So, man, 1994, President's Trophy, doing what they did. And now this team is playing like a team that won the President's Trophy. One more win. One more. And oh boy, if we can do that on Friday night, on top of what's going to be our NFL schedule release edition of Strictly Sports, if we can do a Ranger Roundup on top of that, it's going to be one of the best Friday nights I've had in a long time, man. Without a doubt. So, great win for the New York Rangers. Piss poor first period. I kept the faith. And all you Ranger fans out there, including Michael Fletcher and our good friend Eric Peterson up in LA, and all other Ranger fans around the world, I'll say it once, and I keep saying it until the very end. Keep the faith, my friends. If we book them, they will come. All yours, Fletcher.
There's nothing more to say. What a night it was indeed. New York Ranger fans, you're celebrating tonight. High fives all the way around. And the Ranger victory music playing in the background. Your New York Rangers are one win away from going to the Eastern Conference semifinals and possibly a date with the winner of the series between the Washington Capitals and the New York Islanders. Place your bets on that one right now, folks, because we'll find out soon enough who it will be. Right now, I believe that series tied at 2 games apiece, Anthony. 2-2 between the Islanders and the Caps.
Yeah, I had to unmute my mic. Yes, it is 2. It is 2-2. Washington even that series last night. Nicholas Backstrom with an overtime winning goal. So that's a brand new series now.
All right, so it's a best of 3 there. New York is 1 win away. They could wrap it up on Friday night back at the world's most famous arena in Madison Square Garden. That game will start at 7 o'clock. I believe 7 o'clock. Let me just confirm that one moment, please. The Rangers will play. Yes, I got it here. 7 o'clock. And the game is on NBC Sports Network. So if you got the NBC Sports Network in the United States, you'll get to see that game along with it's going to be a busy night of hockey. 2 other games are going to go down. We got the Canadiens and the Senators. That game's 3-1. Also, the Minnesota Wild and the St. Louis Blues are playing. And depending on the result tonight, because we don't know if this is actually going to happen or not, as it stands right now, this actually does depend, because if the Anaheim Ducks wrap up their series tonight, we don't know just yet, but if they wrap up their series tonight, that means there'll only be 3 games on the schedule instead of the 4. There's the shot that Anthony has, a screenshot. You know what? We'll just end it with this one right here. So with that said, we're going to do a Bulls round of Bulls Corner. That's tomorrow night. However, it's going to be on Anthony Florio's channel. The Tone 25 on YouTube.com. It's going to be on his channel.
What time?
Let's do following the game. So I would say around 10:30, 11.
Works for me.
All right, so we'll do it then. So when the game goes final, you tune over to him. Until then, I'm Michael Flecha. You know the routine, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We out. Good night, Ranger fans. You guys win 2-1 in overtime. 1 win away from the next round of the playoffs. Have a good night, everybody.